Thank you so much for tuning into our first Q&A Sunday. Even though today is Monday, we weren't able to post the Q&A Sunday yesterday, so we are going to do it today. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. Now, a lot of these questions are really good ones, and we're not going to be able to probably get to all of them, but we're going to try our best. And today we only have 5 questions, and the questions that we received were ones in our comments that are in our videos right now. A lot of them we have answered through comment form, but we're going to go ahead and do it all over again through video form since we get a lot of the same questions on the matter. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the first one. The first one's from JD Benton. JD says, I just bought an enclosed trailer 6x10 and I'm in Portland, Oregon, where we get a lot of rain. It is 100% metal and I'm having condensation wall sweat issues. Wondering if you've had this problem before and how you keep your equipment dry condensation out. Very informative video, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your comment, JD, and your question. And yes, we also do get that same problem here in the state of Washington where we live. And mostly the time we get it is really during the winter time when there is a lot of moisture since the heat's gone. I have asked around to other landscapers and owners of enclosed trailers and asked them, what do you guys do to get that condensation out? And they said these are the best ways to do it. So the first one on the list is to buy a dehumidifier. Now this one is very effective because it's sucking all that moisture out of the air and capturing it in a bucket where you can just pour it out. Now this is really good, like I said, it's very effective. The only problem is now you're having to run an extension cord to your trailer to run the piece of equipment, and then you're also having to empty it out all the time once it gets full. So the second one is some kind of heat source like a light bulb in your trailer. And what this does is it dries out that condensation or that humidity inside your trailer to where it won't create that mold issue or that wall sweat. Now the third and final solution is to get one of these right here, which is a moisture eliminator. Now this one right here I actually purchased at the dollar store and I bought many of them. And what it does is that there's these little pellets right up top right here where the moisture gets caught in there and then the water drains down to the bottom and then gets captured in this little container right here. And you can either throw it away or possibly drain it. Now this is a cheap solution, it's not as effective as the other ones, but it does help prevent that moisture and that condensation in the trailer. So the next question from J Porkins 88, and his question is, what model is your Echo trimmer? Now the models we use are the PAS 225 and the SRM 225, and the reason why we run the lower end engine models is because we don't want to overpower the Edgit Pro, especially at running a higher RPM. Now when running a higher RPM, you got to be very careful when you're around houses with their windows very close to the ground, or just big open windows and even doors with windows. The reason why is all you have to do is just hit a simple rock with your weed whacker and it shoots the rock and showers the whole window, which is why we run a lower end engine, because that actually happened to us at one job. Now you can run a higher end trimmer, but I'd rather stick with the lower ones just to be safe. If you're more out in the fields, then yes, I would probably recommend the 230 if you're an Echo guy. If you're a still guy, I'm not really sure on the models. But if you're looking at Echoes, the SRM 230 is a really good model where it has both the power and also that weight where it's easy on your arms. Alright guys, now we're going to go ahead and move on to our third question. So our next question is from Cam Boyes Claire. And I'm sorry if I messed up on your name. His question is, $10 a blade, I get my Edgit blades for $1.30 a piece. Now this is in regards to the Edgit Pro. And in our video we actually said that if you were to go down to the store, each blade is about $8 to $10. And what we meant by that was if you were to go down to Home Depot and buy a single Edgit blade, then yes, they actually are at $8 to $10. But if you actually were to go to a dealership and actually buy them by the box, you can get them for about 50 cents to a little over $1 or so. So what we were talking about was if you actually went down to Home Depot and needed one right then and there, that's actually how much you would have to pay. So the next question is from Gary's Green Landscaping. His question is, nice video again, keep up good work. Also, where can you get the Edgit Pro? Now we get this question a lot, and the best place I would recommend getting it is eBay. Now you can get the Edgit Pro for $65, but remember, Edgit Pro only works for still and Echo trimmer, so if you have anything else, it will not work. It is not a universal tool, it is only specifically for those two trimmers. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and go to our next question. The next question is from BC95712, and his question is, hello, where did you get your logo from? Did you make it yourself or did someone else make it? Nice video. Thank you so much for your comment, and yes, we actually had another company create our logo, but we helped design it with them. And the company is logonerds.com, and they are an amazing company. We've actually had 3 logos done. We had our first original one when we first started out, and the current one that we have now. I would really recommend Logo Nerds for creating any of your logos. Really, it's because of the price and how professional they are. We actually got our logos done for about $40. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on the next question. The next question is from Rene Romero. His question is, really nice equipment, but how do you keep your mowers from moving? Now the way we keep our mowers from moving is just from ratchet straps. Now, the reason why we use ratchet straps is because we move our equipment around so much. For the days that we use our push mowers, we put those more in the back, or if we do riding mowers, we keep that in the back. So we're constantly moving around our equipment. So the ratchet straps are the best way to hold it down, where you're not screwing holes into all the walls in your flooring and then ruining. However, there is a wheel lock that you can actually purchase for zero-turn mowers or even walk-behinds or stand-ons, where it actually locks your front wheel, but you bolt that to the floor of your trailer. Now the problem with that, especially for us, is like I said, since we move our equipment around so much, that would really get into the way, and we don't want to have to keep screwing holes, unscrewing, and just putting holes throughout our floors in our trailer. So the reason why we use ratchet straps is because it's just so much easier. Alright guys, so now let's go ahead and finish with our last and final question. And our last question is from Lorenzo Cerchia. And again, I apologize if I messed up your guys' names. His question is, how do you price hedge trimming? Now this question's a little difficult because there's many ways that you can price hedge trimming. The 3 ways that you can price hedge trimming is either by the hour, by the plant, or by the bid. Another thing you have to take into perspective is, are you doing a cleanup? How many guys do you have working for you? How big the plants are? Thank you so much guys for tuning into our Q&A Sunday. We hope you guys enjoyed the questions and that we hopefully answered them to our fullest. Please make sure to leave them in the comments below on this video segment so we know that you want to be featured. Please keep all questions professional and clean. We will get to as many as we can, of course. But thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you next Sunday with all your questions.